King Collector here, and today we are working on the boat once again. We are going to be building the windshield, installing the fuel access port, and installing the switch panel as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this slightly different video. Anyways, let's get right into it. I started off by cutting both sheets to 16 inches in height using the table saw. I then found the center line, which was 26 1/8, so I cut both sheets to that in width. Then using the table saw I inherited, I cut 4 holes in each aluminum bracket. I then traced those holes onto the corner of the plexiglass sheets and drilled those as well. However, I ended up changing it, and these holes are now redundant. I then mashed the two pieces together, put a piece of aluminum bracket in between them, dotted the holes with a Sharpie so they could be drilled in the plexiglass, and then we could finally get these two pieces put together. Which was a lot harder than it looks. I had to adjust the holes several times during this process, but as you can see, I did eventually get it. Alright, so I got most of the windshield put together. Let's get it put on the boat. I got these hinges here. Installed these off camera. Basic. You didn't miss out on much, so don't worry. Let's try to get this thing on here then. I have a feeling it's going to be very, very fun. Which it was. It should have definitely been a 2-man process. This thing's a lot heavier than it looks. But, once again, I finally did get it eventually. But not without this thing falling down like 7 times. Probably should have got that permanently mounted. Alright, so I ran back to Lowe's and I grabbed some more 1024, I almost said quarter 20, but that's what those are right there. These are 1024 by 3/4 inch. It's the ones that we were using for right here. So we can continue our work today. I also got the dashboard mounted in so it stops moving around so much. It was like really annoying to deal with. As you can see, it did exactly what I was saying I was gonna do, where you just put that aluminum angle in there, route it to the side of the boat, and bam, done. Simple as that. So let's we'll get some more aluminum angle and run up these sides now, and that's where these guys come in. Basically, they give the windshield side support. If I can hold the stupid thing, basically it'll be just like that, and then the windshield will be held up. It's a lot more stiff that way too. So I began work on the corner pieces. These things do not like to clamp very well in this saw, so I have to do it kind of on an angle like that. I then used the table grinder to deburr all the edges. I then drilled all the holes I needed and tapered the edges on the aluminum so you wouldn't get cut, and it was ready to be mounted. I got two 21-inch tarp straps to keep the top of the windshield strapped down to the side of the boat to keep the windshield in the upright position when you want it to be. Then came one of the most satisfying parts, pulling off all of the plastic protective wrap. Would have been more satisfying had it come off in one big piece, but since there was aluminum bracketry all over it, that didn't really happen, nor did I expect it to. go. Windshield assembly is complete. I forgot I literally wanted to add a top piece as well. It's very rigid now in terms of like the plexiglass itself. Of course, it's going to move around a little bit, but once you actually, you know, tie it down with the bungee cords, it'll be rock solid. I also am going to change something with the dashboard just a little bit. In order to flip this thing up, see how it's like down in there and it doesn't really want to go? In order to get it to fall flat, see how it's hinging up like that? So in order to make that work, I'm going to have to make a new piece that goes in there. So this one will not work. It's not a waste though. I do know what I'm going to do with this piece already. So it's not the end of the world. We'll just have to change that. So I guess I'll do that right now. Alright, there's the windshield. It's for the most part done. I might put some like rubber trim or something on the bottom of this piece right here so it doesn't get caught on something and possibly break it. But for now, it'll work just fine. In fact, I might actually take the whole windshield assembly off so it doesn't get scratched or anything. Because you never know. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that kind of voiceover style, kind of whatever, you know what I mean. If you want me to do more of that, just let me know in the comments and I'll kind of switch to that style. But let's get back to normal for now. So, I got this gas tank. Of course, you've seen it 1,000 times now. It's a gas tank from the Campbell-Hausfeld generator we tried to fix earlier this spring. And of course, it never actually had a fuel gauge because you didn't need one. You just opened up the cap and looked inside, and that's how you knew how much gas you had. But now it's in a boat under the floor where you can't see it that easily. So I drilled a hole and I got this universal fuel sending unit. It's a 4-inch kind of deal. Has this float. So basically, as the float goes up and down, it tells the gauge to go up and down. So if you're at half tank, the float's going to be right here, and it'll tell your gauge to show half a tank. Yeah, you kind of get it, right? Anyways, it's that simple. It's not that hard. Just throw the cap on it. That's how it works. So I ditched the silicone piping idea where you had the pipe that would go up to the side there. It would have made filling it up very easily, but it was not worth the price of silicone piping. If you ever had to buy it before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. $50 for a right angle piece that's like as big as my hand. It's ridiculous. It's the stupidest thing ever. So I went the cheap route and I got this 6-inch marine access port. It has an O-ring on it, so it'll be rainproof at least. I don't know about completely waterproof, but well, it'll be rainproof. So that'll work just fine. You just open it up. It'll be lined up directly with the gas cap there, and you can fill it up at the gas station. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll have to actually get all this stuff out and take the floor out again, and yeah, that'll be fun. So let's just get it over with and we'll get that thing installed. Alright, so took the windshield off because I don't want it getting scratched up or anything. I got the circle traced for the access port here. I'm hoping it's the right position. Guess we'll find out, right? Got a starting hole drilled and we're going to cut this hole out. Wish me luck.
So as you can see, I ran into a bit of an issue here. When I was cutting the hole, I ran into the aluminum cross brace under the floor. And in a second here, you'll see exactly what I decided to do about that.
Alright, being aluminum, I just kind of sent it with the wood blade. And it worked. So, there you go. Just got to get it screwed in and it's good to go. there you go. It's that simple. So now we have an access port to fill up our gas and replace our fuel sending unit if it ever dies. So let's get the gas tank back in. We'll get the rest of this floor fastened down because I don't think we really need to have it sitting around anymore. So let's do it. Alright, you join me in the bilge of the boat under the floor. There's that port we just put in there. And our bolt holes are, come on, it's right there. There's the ones we put in the middle on each side, and then the other ones are up there. So we just have to kind of thread in the nut and hope that the carriage bolt sinks down in time for us not to have to worry about it spinning on the top. If that's not the case, maybe we can reach our arm through the hole there and hold it down. Although I don't think that's going to happen, so we just have to kind of hope for the best. Alright, we got all the bolts in for the floor. Got the gas tank mounted in there. And right on the money. How about that? Almost spot on. And best part is, if the sending unit ever goes bad, it's such an easy access. Like, it's pulling a little bit and it's out. Much better than dropping the tank like you have to in a car. So if you've ever done that before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So anyways, that is perfect. Could not get any better. So I gotta let this tank dry out though, because it got condensation in it and stuff. So I need to set it out in the sun for it to bake in there for a little bit. So I'll get back with you guys when we can kind of finalize things up, and we'll take it from there. Alright, so today I'm getting the switch panel in. I haven't had time at all to work on this thing. It would have been done by now. But I've been working a lot of overtime so we can get that engine and stuff like that. So I'm doing it for you guys. I did pull all the switches out, and I just kind of traced the switch panel itself. Ended up breaking this switch. I accidentally pulled out one of the tabs there. I got it back in there, but I have no idea if it's going to work anymore. We'll try it, but yeah, I'm not really sure right now. So anyways, I can get that little square thing cut right there, and we'll get this thing put in. Alright, we got the switch panel mounted in its general location. This dashboard is going to get like a brushed aluminum faceplate, or maybe even like a diamond plate kind of deal. Although I'm not really a fan of diamond plate, to be honest. So I might just do brushed aluminum. But anyways, that thing needs to be rewired anyway, because it does not do what I want it to do right now. Basically, I just want these 4 switches to be controlled by this master switch right here. And right now the way it's wired is they all receive power when you hook them up to a battery. So that needs to change. And the fuel sending unit is not mounted permanently yet. It's just kind of sitting in there right now, because the mounting solution that came with it was for an aluminum tank, not a plastic one. So we need to figure something out to make that work properly. I'll go into more details in the next episode, or whenever we actually do that. I'm not actually sure right now. But anyways, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. We were doing really good on views and stuff for a while, but then something changed on YouTube's end, and all my videos died on the same exact day, on the same exact time, in terms of view rate and stuff like that. So thanks, YouTube, you kind of just ruined things. So anyways, any kind of support is appreciated, and that'll be it. I'll see you guys in the next video.